Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please like and subscribe. It really helps. I don't know why it does, but it does help. And please put your comments down below. Hit me with your rhythm stick. I don't mind. Not too keen on the insults, but hey, you put your head above the parapet, you expect to get an arrow or two. Anyway, I'm going to talk today about the problem of releasing prisoners early from the system, which is about to happen in a really big way. They're going to release something like 5,000 or 6,000 inmates early, having served 40% of their sentence instead of 50% or 70%, or actually how about them actually serving the sentence that they've been sentenced to? That might be an idea, eh? But what they are doing is they're selectively going to release people into society and unprepared. I mean, how can the probation service deal with a sudden influx of 5, maybe 10,000 inmates? We don't know how many they're going to release, do we? They're just going to do it. And the problem is they open the gates and out they go. Career criminals, by the way. A lot of these are career criminals, and people don't realise that career criminals continue to commit crimes because that's what they do. They are completely oblivious to the fact that they're committing criminal offences because to them that is their way of life and, to a certain extent, their modus operandi. If you want to look at what a career criminal's life is like, I highly recommend that you read the book Born in Prison. It's published by Gadfly Press, and it's out there on Amazon. Have a look at that. Story of the guy who spent his time as a drug addict, cocaine, smoking crack, all the rest of it, spice, you name it. And to fund his habit, he was going out committing offence after offence, breaking into cars, stealing from people, mugging them, molesting them. And he openly discusses this in the book, Born in Prison. Highly recommended. And you'll get that on Amazon. And the problem he had was that he kept getting arrested. And he gets sentenced to 3 months, 6 months. He didn't seem to mind because he understood that was part of the issue that he got with the drugs. So he quite enjoyed his brief sojourn in places like Strangeways or Walton Jail, Liverpool. And he became a regular in there. He knew people in there. The staff knew him. It was perfectly acceptable way of life, because don't forget, when you are a drug addict, you're living from day to day. So when you're in the prison, you've got 3 meals a day, you've got a bed, you've got people who are like-minded, you've got friends in there, because half the people that are in there, you know them, because that is the community you come from. But when they open the door, as they are going to do immediately with Operation Early Dawn, it'll be an early dawn all right for society, because they're suddenly going to get 5,000 to 10,000 career criminals back on the streets committing offences. A good 25 to 30% have nowhere to live. Jail doors open, out they go, onto the streets. They've got 20 quid or something like that. They'll quickly blow that on whatever they want, because they can't find anywhere to stay for that. You tried finding a place to stay in Manchester overnight when you've got limited funds? I mean, even if you've got a few hundred quid, you can't go and book into a hotel because they demand to see your credit cards these days. You just, to book in so that you don't abscond with their property or whatever. They've got your credit cards, they know who you are. But of course the inmates that are coming out of prison have got nothing like that. They don't have a job, they don't have nowhere to live. How are they going to survive? Well, they're going to survive doing what they do. Criminal offences. A lot of people who have been in prison for a period of time have lost all family connections. They've been disowned by the family. They are not only homeless, they're virtually without any extended family support. So they're stuck. And they're stuck in society that has got nowhere to put them. The probation service are going to be overrun with this. And listen, already they have found that a good portion of the people who have already been released, because they've started to release a few thousand, a good quarter of those are already back in custody because they've reoffended. There's something the matter here with the Home Office and the Ministry of Justice. They don't understand the nature of the people that they are holding in the prisons. There's no rehabilitation. Listen, I know there's no rehabilitation, or effectively no rehabilitation. They may very well have workplaces for them to go and jobs for them to do in the prisons to learn it, but there's no staff to do it. The education department, you can't be serious. I tried to set training programs up when I was in charge of the psychiatric unit at Strangeways, and the management, my line managers, stepped in to stop it because they didn't believe that that was the way to treat inmates. They said these people are prisoners first and patients second. Yet they were on a psychiatric ward for assessment and to overcome illnesses or whatever it was, and many of them had little or no hope for the future. So trying to instill that, I instructed the education department, and they agreed to set up training programs on the ward 2 or 3 times a week. That was stopped by my line managers. My chief officer stopped that. Why? Because, in his opinion, prisoners were prisoners, and we weren't there to actually improve their minds or do anything. We were there to just make sure that they didn't escape and give them the very basic. It doesn't work like that now, I think. They've abandoned all hope. Yeah, well, they've abandoned all hope. They've abandoned the prisons because they're opening the doors and letting them out. The lunatics have taken over the asylum, and soon they'll be taking over the streets. It's a damn disgrace what's happening in the prisons today. And, of course, if we go back to 1979, 1980, I was trying to tell the staff, you can't expect the Prison Officers Association, that is run effectively by chief officers and principal officers, in other words, managers, you can't expect them to represent the basic working grade officers, because they're not. They're there to actually keep us in line, and therefore things like the Prison Officers Association was simply another tool of management. And you couldn't, I know people join the prison service think, I'm going to make a difference. I actually did it for a job. I didn't do it because I wanted to be a thug or a bully or anything like that. I wanted to earn a regular wage for my wife, and I couldn't join the police because I was colourblind. Couldn't join the fire service, colourblind. I went and did the exams, did the medicals, and failed. And I am quite badly colourblind. I can't see reds, greens, browns. I see them, but they all look the same to me. It's a very strange thing. Of course, that disbarred me from what was practically the family profession, because my father was a detective inspector, so my brother was a detective inspector, and I was a bloody jailer. And today, I knew what should be happening in the jails, and believe me, it wasn't. If you want to read what the jails were like when I was there, read my books. HMP Manchester Prison Officer. There's a link down there. All right. Now, I've had a request here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but I'm going to try and do it. So, stand by for action. Are you ready? That's the song dinger, folks. I still haven't found my original one. My grandson ran off with it. But this is a request, yeah. A specific request for a song. This is a song by Neil Diamond, And it's one they usually sing at these boxing matches, isn't it? You know, when Tyson Fury comes on dressed like Batman or the King of the Gypsies or whatever he comes on dressed as. Yeah, it usually plays this, I think, or plays something like this, Crackling Rosie. So if you're ready, if you're sitting comfortably, I'm about to destroy your peace. Crackling Rosie, get on board. We're gonna ride till there ain't no more to go. Taking it slow, and Lord, don't you know, we're having me a time with a poor man's lady hitching on a twilight train. Ain't nothing here that I care to take along. Maybe a song to sing when I want. No need to say please to no man for a happy tune. Oh, I love my rosy child. You got the way to make me happy. You and me, we go in style. Crackling Rose, a store-bought woman. You make me sing like a guitar humming. So hang on to me, girl. Our song keeps running on. Play it now, play it now, play it now, my baby. Crackling Rosie, make me smile. Girl, if it lasts for an hour, that's all right. We got all night to set the world right. Find us a dream that don't ask no questions. Crackling Rosie, get on board. Crackling Rosie, ride till there ain't no more. And anyway, that's it. Does any of you here know what Crackling Rosie is? Yeah, Crackling Rosie is cheap red wine that you buy in the stores and you drink because you haven't got a dolly bird at your arm. In fact, get me the Crackling Rosie! Tales from the Jails, folks.